JTVMMO.
Hello, and welcome to League of Ertyx's Guides to Advanced Summoner Spells, Episode 3. In this episode, we're featuring the summoner spells Heal, Exhaust, Ghost, Smite, Clarity, and Ignite. Because these spells have less utility than Flash and Teleport, I'm going to spend less time explaining their techniques and more time explaining their uses. Though I can add Clairvoyance and Fortify to this episode, I believe they deserve their own episode, along with Rally and Revive, to further explain their measures and techniques. In this episode, you will find the summoner spells, their definitions, uses for the summoner spells, and when to use them. Let's get started, shall we? First up, we have the summoner spell Heal. Heal is a non-target summoner spell that instantly heals all nearby allied champions and minions. By default, Heal has a 270-second cooldown, although if you spec'd into the defensive tree's Mender's Faith, you would reduce the cooldown by 30 seconds, which would reduce the overall cooldown to 240 seconds. Further, if you spec'd into Utility Tree's Presence of the Master, you would reduce the cooldown to 229.5 seconds. With both Presence of the Master and Mender's Face, the cooldown is reduced to 199.5 seconds. When you use Heal, you obtain a debuff. This reduces the amount healed by 50% from other summoners' heal spells for 20 seconds. Something to note about Heal is that it will remove you from stealth when used. Finally, Heal is a great summoner spell for many new users because of its ability to be used as a crutch. Moving on, we have the summoner spell Exhaust. Exhaust is a targeted summoner spell. It slows movement speed by 40% and reduces auto attacks by 70%. It also reduces ability/item damage by 35%. The default cooldown of the Exhaust is 210 seconds. With the offensive tree, you can spec into Cripple. Cripple also reduces target's armor and magic resistance by 10 and lengthens the duration to 3.5 seconds. With the utility tree's Presence of the Master, the cooldown can be reduced to 178.5 seconds. Finally, Exhaust works wonders against AD champions. Strive to put Exhaust on their ranged AD and melee AD carries, especially in team fights, to shut them down. Next up, we have the summoner spell Ghost. Ghost is a summoner spell that makes your champion move faster. It removes unit collision. This means that champions can move through minions without being blocked or otherwise unpadded. In the utility tree, you can spec into Haste. Haste increases the movement speed of Ghost by 6% and increases its duration by 1.5 seconds. Ghost normally lasts 10 seconds. With Haste, it lasts 11.5 seconds. The cooldown is normally 210 seconds, but with Presence of the Master, the cooldown is 178.5 seconds. Although Ghost is pretty straightforward, it is another spell that can be used by anybody. It's great for escapes, and it's great for chases. Next, we have the summoner spell Smite. Smite deals 425 true damage to a target enemy minion or pet, plus 25 damage per level. It has a default cooldown of 75 seconds, and can be reduced to 70 seconds with Plentiful Bounty from the offensive tree, as well as give you a plus 5 gold bonus whenever you use it. If you only spec into the Presence of the Master, the cooldown is reduced to 63.75 seconds. If you have both Presence of the Master and Plentiful Bounty, the cooldown is reduced to an overall 58.75 seconds. Smite by some is considered a necessity because it increases the efficiency of a jungler's root. Though some champions like Warwick don't need Smite initially, it is recommended because it decreases the time that you spend in the jungle. Smite can be used on any of the melee or caster minions, but cannot initially one-shot any of the siege minions. Be sure to note that Smite does work on the minion bosses such as Dragon and Baron Nashor. Don't forget this, as this may ensure that extra gold bonus or that extra buff by using it when they're at low health. Next, we have the summoner spell Clarity. Clarity restores 160 mana to your champion and 50% of that to nearby allies, plus 30 mana per level. You can spec into Insight under the utility tree, and grant allied champions 100% of the mana gained. Clarity normally has a 180-second cooldown. If you spec into the Presence of the Mastery under the utility tree, you can reduce the cooldown to 153 seconds. Like Heal, Clarity is great for new players, as well as supports, or anyone who is generally very mana heavy. Finally, we have the summoner spell Ignite. Ignite targets a single champion, dealing 50 true damage over 5 seconds. It also reduces the target's healing and regeneration by 50%. If you spec into Burning Embers under the offensive tree, Ignite will grant you an additional 10 ability power when on cooldown. Ignite generally has a cooldown of 180 seconds, but when spec'd into the Presence of the Master under the utility tree, the cooldown is reduced to 153 seconds. Though the description states that it can target a single champion, it can also target minions as well, so be careful where you aim it. A final word for Ignite is that it is extremely useful to try to get first blood, as well as being extremely useful against champions like Sona, Soraka, and Jaina, who have an innate heal, or Cho'Gath, Tryndamere, Vladimir, and especially Mundo, because of their high sustainability. Although that champion list goes on, those are just a few that Ignite can efficiently be used against. That concludes episode 3 of League of Ertyx's Advanced Guides to Summoner Spells. And as always, feedback is greatly appreciated. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Twitter at JTV_MMO or Google Plus at JTVMMO. Your time is precious to me, and I look forward to making more videos in the future. Thank you.